Those of you that follow the channel know that I do like to collect vintage things. A lot of times if you do the same thing, you know that they don't always work and you have to do some repairs on them to try to get them to work. But in this case, I actually came across some really cool things that are super nostalgic and they already work. But today I'm going to try to make it into 2025 and see if I can get them to work. Stick around. Let's talk about it.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rad, back with another video. And what am I talking about? Well, if you follow the channel for a while, you should know that I love Zenith electronics. Specifically because my dad, in the late 70s, mid to late 70s to early 80s, actually owned a company called Modern TV or Modern Electronics, I forget the name, in Corpus Christi, that he and his friend Tom being his best friend and then was the technician, bought it from another guy that, you know, the people they used to work for, these two brothers, and they retired and they bought it. And on the weekends that my dad actually did come and pick me up, which wasn't often, he had to go to work and he was a salesman. And funny enough, I'm a salesman now, pretty much have been my whole life. And so while Tom was in the back repairing, my dad was in the front showroom selling people TVs, right? So I sat there and I watched them, and I was just surrounded by, you know, floor to ceiling TVs and VCRs or whatever they were. As a little kid, I just knew what a TV was. I didn't know if there was Betamax or Laserdisc or whatever, but I remember the TVs. And so there's just, you know, it's stuck in me that every time I come across it, it just reminds me of my dad. So I hit up an estate sale and ended up getting this. Let's see here. Let's turn this around. There we go. This is a 1983 24-inch Zenith console TV. It's supposed to come with a remote, but you know, this one doesn't have one. And then I also picked up this little Zenith, and it's attached to this little stand. I've added the VCR down there. And this one works. It's got the old UHF dial and the regular dial right there. And so these already work. I've already hooked up the VCR and it works fine. But now, as you know, they ended up going digital several years back. And so in order for an old school TV to work, you have to get a digital converter box that will take the digital signal, convert it to analog, and to work. So, and you also have to have a digital antenna now, which are basically a digital form of the old rabbit ears, right? So today we are going to, I got a digital converter, haven't hooked it up. It seems pretty simple, right? And then I do use another digital antenna in on my flat screen to get your free channels. A lot of people don't realize that by FCC law in the US, you have to be able to get free TV in the sense of your ABC, your NBC, your CBS, I believe PBS, and even I think Telemundo or Univision. So you have to be able to get those for free, but these cable companies and these channels try to convince you that you have to have the app and then you get charged for that app. What they don't realize is you can go buy a digital antenna, connect it to, it's a coaxial port that's still on the back of your flat screens, run it out and let it pick up a digital signal. And for the most part, it works great. I watch my football games during football season on it, and there's a lot of great channels on it. So if you didn't know that, now you know, and go get yourself one of these digital antennas. But I have a digital antenna for a digital TV, and this is the first time doing a digital antenna to a digital converter box to an actual TV. And like I said, the speakers and the color on this is popped. I sent a little video to my boys, Brandon and Earl, with a little Scooby-Doo cartoon in there, and the color is just amazing. So high quality 480 quality TV. So let's see together if I can get it to work. All right, so just to get into the TV a little bit more, I haven't cleaned it, I haven't dusted it off yet. There's some cobwebs and stuff that's right over there. And you got the little panel right here that you pull down. Remember those to adjust your color and your sharpness and your tint. It's on wheels, and so it can kind of roll around. You can still see that there's a lot of dust on the screen. And this particular TV even came with the instructions, which is basically a little swirly thing to make adjustments. And what's even cool about this, check this out, guys, is it still came with the little tag that they would hang on there. It's Zenith's 50th anniversary. 23-inch, handcrafted, giant screen, right? Giant screen, 23-inch. Color television. I think that's super rad, man. That is just sweet. 1983. And you even got the receipt for that. By the way, the other Zenith over here is a 1968. And as I've said before, this one TV from this receipt, the smaller one on the cart, was showing that it was over $500 in 1968. That is the equivalent to roughly $5,400 in today's dollars. So what I find funny is I follow this one channel named Skylab. I've learned a lot of great stuff, and he recently did a video about how people complain, like, people were buying vintage because there's just no more good brand new electronics. And as he said, that's just not true. They're $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for some top of the line that are the ones that you see in Hollywood movies, right? Where they put the record player down, it's got the bulbs and all that type of stuff. And they're still made great quality, but people freak out because there's so many cheap electronics on the market now. You're like, you can go get yourself a 70-inch flat screen from Walmart for $700. But what you don't realize is that this TV behind me was top of the line, or the smaller one, and it was $5,400 worth of electronics. Now electronics have come down, but my point is, and his point is, you can go buy yourself a $6,000 piece of equipment, and it is the equivalent of what we used to buy back in the day. It is, so you're looking at it as $6,000, but it's really the same value of what ones that were made in the 80s of really good quality were. There's a great video. I'll have a link to his channel below in the description box, because I really love the channel. He does a great job. And so, without further ado, let's turn this around and get this thing plugged in. This is the little antenna, and this is the little converter box. So based on the instructions, one plugs into the other, plugs into the other, plugs into the other. So let's get this hooked up. On another note, this didn't even have a coaxial hookup. You had to buy the separate connection, which would be basically your antenna connectors, and it's the same for the other TV as well, where you buy these coaxial connectors to put your coaxial cable in. Another cool feature of this TV is on both sides here and then up here, these are little things to put, like if your plug is next to the wall where your TV's at, you can store your cord in there and kind of shorten it to where it's not dangling all over the ground. So that's why this is kind of curled up, because it was stored in here and the plug was about that far from the wall, which made it, no need to have all the cord out. So simple, but a real nifty little idea that they built into the TV. All right, so we're gonna plug in the TV. Like I said, my house is a 1950s. So if I can get this in there right, I've got these old school plugs that go in there on 3. All right, so far so good, y'all. I got this hooked up. It's just a simple box that has to be plugged into the wall, and make sure that's plugged in right. And then you have one coaxial that goes to the actual antenna, and then the other one that goes from the back of the TV to that. So should be pretty simple. This also is supposed to be a DVR, and it comes with a remote. What do I do with it over here? So it comes with this remote, which I had to put 2 AAA batteries in, and then I have the antenna that runs up, just kind of dangling there to see if we get a signal. So let me see, is there a power? I don't know. Let's see what happens. This is set up to channel 3. Remember, 2 or 3. And so the TV is coming on. Remember how it takes a little bit to warm up. Got that old school snow going on. Let's power that on. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Home works. Something the kids don't have anymore. So let's see what it makes me do. So I got to go through the setup. So let's get through that real quick. Be right back. All right, so it's a couple times already. I had to reposition the antenna a little bit higher to start catching. So it's doing a channel search. And as you can see, starting to load up these channels. We'll see what happens. And we have success, y'all. Had to reposition the antenna a little bit. And as you can see, it's a little bright. So let's go with color level. Change the color a little bit so they're not so red. Picture, let me do that. And this appears to be the Waltons. And so yeah, I'm not quite sure how to use this remote yet to go through other channels, but this is Me TV, and this is actually a really cool station for all your old stuff. They have the Jeffersons on it, Magnum PI. Overall, it's a great channel, but once again, it's free. And turn the camera around here. So to get back into this, so this is exactly why, you know, I love to buy old things, because number one, quite frankly, a lot of these older TVs don't work anymore because they were just abused. But this house, they actually, you know, there hadn't been anybody in it in like 30 years, and the stuff was just a time capsule, and it works great. But I was talking to Roth about this. This TV is 40 plus years old. So it makes me wonder, do you think that there's going to be, any flat screen TVs that are working 40 years from now? Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. The TVs that are out there now, you just bought a 70-inch high definition 4K television from Walmart. 40 years from now, do you think that TV is going to be working? So hope you guys appreciated the video. If this is the type of stuff you like, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and let me know, because I've got other stuff that needs to be fixed. If you're interested in kind of seeing me go through that stuff, I've got a 1950s chrome toaster that I need to fix. I got to rewire it. I reordered some a cord for it that looks vintage and whatnot. I'll pop a picture up over me so you can see it, and I'll be fixing that next. And a little bit of trial and error, but you know, if you appreciate it, like I said, give it a thumbs up, share the video. And with that said, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next video.